Knee extension sequence. So we're going to be in a seated position to start, legs straight out in front of you. She has a nice strong core and we want to work that a little bit more, so we're not going to use a wall. The wall does help take out any rotations or stops you from compensating. And then if you have a weaker core and can't sit up nice and straight, the wall's good to help support you in that way. So what we're going to do first is she's going to go into like a frog position. So she's going to bring the bottoms of her feet together. Good. So sitting up nice and tall, creating that arch in the low back. And if you're using a wall, just maintaining that, making sure the butt doesn't come off the wall. She's actually going to put her palms on her knees, face up, like so. Good. And then she's going to use her hip muscles and actually pull her knees down towards the ground. So she's not pushing them with her hands. She's engaging those muscles to pull them down. And so she's going to keep them down and then hold them, and she's going to hold for a minute. After she holds for a minute, this leg's going to go straight out in front, keeping that foot flexed back. She's still pulling that down with her muscles, locking this back, tightening the thigh, and pushing that knee down towards the ground. If you're against the wall, you might feel your hip rotates off the wall a little bit, so readjust your pelvis to the wall. She maintained pretty good alignment through that whole thing. She's going to hold this for 1 minute. Then she's going to reverse, do the same to the other side. So now the right leg goes out in front, flexes back, good. Uses those hip muscles to pull that down. Flexes the foot back. So we're really forcing extension into the knee, and then we're getting into the hip dramatically different from each side. So we're really trying to open up the hips on one side, really engage the kinetic chain on the muscles on this side, getting that knee extension, really engaging the core, really working those extensors. And then after that, she's going to bring this foot out in front, so both legs are straight. And then she's going to flex both feet back, engaging those thighs, pushing the knee down. So this is good to really, if your knees are a little bit in flexion, or if you can't flex those feet all the way back, she's really getting a posterior fascial stretch too, up that calf, up into the hamstring, and then really working those extensors. 1 minute that way. Then she's going to go back to the first position. So bottom of her feet together. Always making sure if you're using the wall that your hips don't rotate off the wall. Good. Using those hip muscles to engage and pulling those knees down towards the ground. And that looks fantastic. And you're going to do this as prescribed by your therapist, or if there's any modifications to accommodate you. And then this is called knee extension sequence.